in my early gaming days, I was never a multiplayer gamer. I was all about, single player, standalone experiences, following a through line, a storyline from start to finish, a kind of encapsulated game experience. Do you guys feel like that time has gone? Like people will not go for a game that's purely single player anymore. There needs to be a multiplayer component to keep them hooked long term.
The idea of live ops, live services is really attractive to big corporations. Mm-hmm. Because, growth begets growth. Expedition 33, look at like Elden Ring. I know that Elden Ring has multiplayer functionality. You could remove it. I still believe that it would be like a popular game. The Last of Us, there was like the Tomb Raider series that came out. There was the Uncharted, the Indiana Jones game that came out recently. Those thousands of indie games that are single player. Dave the Diver. Balatro is a single game experience with really very little, if any, narrative at all. And it won Game of the Year. Astrobot is a single player experience. Mario, right? Mm-hmm. No, single player is here and it's here to stay. I think that narrative experiences are really hard in VR in particular. There have been a few successes like Half-Life Alyx, the Batman game that came out. I have mixed feelings about the Assassin's Creed game that came out, but, that's an example of a single player experience in VR that did quite well. The question when I think about like social on VR and in the context of Horizon Worlds, which is really what my focus has been for the last few years, is that the shift to mobile gaming in and of itself is not a social platform, with the exception of things like Roblox, that audience, that niche. So the question isn't so much like, is the single player experience dead? It's just like, can you make one that's good enough to make enough money to like put a roof over your head? Now that I've been shifting recently to thinking about mobile and like seeing what works and what doesn't. I think that the single player experience on mobile is actually a stronger experience than figuring out that secret sauce to get like the perfect mobile and social.
And Arturo, are these types of narrative single player only type of games anything that you guys would ever work on at Kluge, or do you guys always kind of keep that multiplayer community building aspect as part of like the undercurrent in your game development methodology?
Our framework's not about single player, multiplayer. We have a framework of quick to fun. So we like, players come to play games for 20 minutes a day. That's our ideal. That's Synth Riders, that's Final Fury. That's the stuff we do in Horizon Worlds. We do have we're building a story for one of our games right now and all that, but I don't think we're let's make a AAA game with hundreds of hours and narrative and all that. Like that's not us. And in terms of the social, I do think VR suits itself very well for social. It started with VR Chat and Rec Room and Horizon Worlds picked up on it. And then now you have Animal Company and Gorilla Tag and Orion Drift and Jeeps and for instance, Battlegrounds, and so on and so forth. So I think there's something about voice chat with VR that's really powerful, embodiment, really powerful, physicality, really powerful, and movement. So I think we're going to keep seeing that. In fact, I talk to my free-to-play friends in the social VR space, and they're all growing and happy, and VR is really good. And I talk to my premium friends, and they're all sad and mopey and doing so well. Having said that, I don't think it's an either or.